All right. Hey guys. So I did a little poll on Instagram to see if anybody would be interested in hearing my thoughts on the ending to Squid Game and some of the under discussed topics that I've been picking up on that I haven't been seeing around when it comes to most of the major discussions of the ending and how it relates to the characters there. So right up front, spoiler warning for Squid Game, right, and the ending and all that, blah blah blah. So we learn at the in the final episode that this old guy that's been paired with our main character, that is how I'm going to refer to these two characters from now on because I don't want to butcher their names, MC and OG. We learn that OG, who we thought was a contestant in the games that had died, was actually the one who started the games. And a lot of people, understandably, were kind of upset with this. Most of the show uses the character as a really wholesome and heartfelt character that we can sort of connect to, and it's this like sort of light in the darkness when it comes to the horror of the Squid Games. And I can definitely empathize with that, and he comes off as a little bit of a tacky bad twist villain at the end. But I think that kind of undercuts his purpose as a character in the games for the purposes of the show. When I think about the two characters in the Squid Games, you often see that they're paired together for these games, or at least they spend a lot of time interacting so that you can see their dynamic. You know, how do they interact? How do they bounce off of each other? And I think that is more the purpose of OG's character in the Squid Games, is to highlight some of our main characters' traits and how these two different characters from very different walks of life interact and engage with the Squid Games and with each other, right? They definitely share a bond. And they're, I think, other than a contestant and his wife, the only two characters that stop at nothing to stick together, right? Well, that and um, the two girls, all of which, those three relationships we see crumble in the Marbles episode. And I think that when we look at the final scene with the two of them, it brings up this topic I wanted to talk about, which is how they both suffer from and deal with their immaturity. And this topic of immaturity is what I've been looking for whenever I am reading and watching videos on the show, but I haven't been able to pick up on very much of it, if anything, that I can remember off the top of my head. There's this, and we see it from our main character throughout the first two episodes, and then just for the rest of the show, this inability to take responsibility, to move on, to be the bigger man, to do any kind of, hard work, very much childlike in all of his actions, his reactions. He forgets his daughter's birthday, has to go win her a present from the arcade, and takes her out to get junk food, right? Just this man-child, right? This pathetic man-child that we get to know in the first two episodes. And ends up winning the Squid Games, right? We also have our OG, our old guy, who, doesn't have much longer to live, but definitely thrives in the Squid Games and seems like he's enjoying a walk back through memory lane. And then when we get to this ending scene with the two guys, we see that was the whole sensation that inspired the Squid Games, was being bored and wanting to, feel that nostalgia, wanting to, relive these old childhood games that had brought him joy as a kid, and being willing to make thousands of people suffer and die to make that entertainment happen. And so the final interaction with them, where they're both unable to reconcile with each other, right? They have the final bet where they're like, listen, if somebody comes out to help this guy, you win. If they don't, then I win. And it's not really about the bet. It's the fact that they're still both playing a game with this person's life. Both of them, well, our main character has the ability to go out and help himself and just to put a stop to it there and say, listen, somebody has helped him. I've helped him. I've made a difference. You lose. But they would both rather play the game, right? Our old guy, battery exhausted. No! All right, we're back. We lost the camera, but we're back. So, at the end of this scene, when the individual on the street is left, basically all the way up until the cops come and drag them off the street, we see that both our main character and our old guy are too immature to move past the playing of a game to save a life. And we start to see our main character's immaturity reflected in the atrocities committed in the Squid Game. Because it's all for the sake of being unable to grow up and to move on. It's all in the name of nostalgia. And that the cost of high production nostalgia for wealthy individuals is born of the same immaturity that causes a family to fall apart. Right? Our main character loses everything because he couldn't, put in the work to raise a family, to take care of his daughter or his mother, and to live on his own. And our old guy, just out of sheer boredom and an inability to reconcile with his own mortality, decided to relive some childhood games in a way that could still be exciting, and it had such a high cost for thousands of people. And this kind of show to be on Netflix, alongside an anticipated fourth season for Stranger Things, which is, more high production media born of nostalgia. I think there's a missing opportunity to talk about the relationship between nostalgia, immaturity, and the destructiveness that comes with making that a high production value, a high cost endeavor. That's kind of where I just wanted to bring it up. I understand this is a lot more giving questions and answers. I'm not trying to say that definitively the show is going out of its way to critique Netflix or, nostalgia-based movies or anything like that. But I did want to bring up the parallels and immaturity between our old guy and our main character, because I think it is a rather interesting subject, something to think about. That's it. Sorry for the camera crapping out on me. I've got this new light and this new camera I was trying to test out, but it looks like I've got a little bit more work to do to get all that set up. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the conversation. I'll try to get these two halves edited together and put up in a timely fashion. And I'll try to have more stuff put out soon. Bye.